Good morning, Patriots. Good morning. How are you? Thank you for joining me on this illustrious day. Something new, something different. I thought we would start a morning little broadcast and touch in with each other and check in and say a hello, a hi, and a hearty ho ho. How are we all doing this morning? How is the chaos within the household as houses are full to the brim of families having their morning, doing the morning ablutions and having their morning breakfast? And I note we have Australia in the house. Good morning to you, Tony, or good evening as it is over in Australia. More peace. Morning all. And GT, Jared Foley, good morning all. Getting the garden ready for sowing vegetables and potatoes. What a fantastic idea. Nothing like checking, doing a little bit of gardening in the morning and possibly getting some preparations. Prepper 1, Prepper 2. How are you? Bobby McPhillips, also in the live chat. Shamrock 1966. Anna Dempsey, good morning from Carrickmacross. County Monaghan has officially the fewest cases of the virus in the country. Thank you for that little snippet. And Mike Knight, my pleasure. Good to see you there this morning. So, early broadcast, I thought we might do these morning shows, these morning broadcasts, and as we get our daily intake of vitamin C and your zinc. Jason H, how are you? All good with me. How are you, Tabby? Jumping in, good morning. Toast to your health, your good health, and your continued success. Oh. And the inevitable Gordon Ryan joins us. Good morning to you, Colette. Good morning, and Danny. Good morning. What a shambles. Morning. Monaghan has no hospital for testing. Maybe that's why. Yeah, it's true. Sláinte. Judo and the Paycock joins us. Good morning, Juno. Thank you very much for joining me. Just going to touch in. We'll figure this. We'll figure this thing of ours out as we go forward. We will touch in with the Twitter feed now presently. And we might go over to our weather report, to our reporter, and check in on this morning's weather. Sylvia, how is the weather this morning? Well, Rowan, as I look out my window, the sun is splitting the skies, and another day has begun. Dallas Motorcade reminds us that the FDA has approved chloroquine for COVID-19. I've seen that. Thank you very much. Unknown Event lets us know the roll call in case we miss it. He's in the Netherlands, or they are in the Netherlands. Andy at 42. What a fantastic age that is. How are we, Patriots? How are we? Noreen Lonergan reminds us, great video with Dave last night. If you haven't caught it, over on Computing Forever with the inimitable Dave Cullen. We did a sit-down chat. I encourage you to go over there. If you have the time, if you have the chance, if you're not too busy this morning, cleaning the skirting boards, dusting the architrave, cleaning out the fire grates, and beginning your homeschooling, if indeed you have a house full of eager young students waiting to learn your knowledge. Yes, Brian Baru, I think it's important there. Yes, testing, self-incarceration, a couple of quarantine points to bring up on the Twitter thread. Points to note, it was in regards to our ever decreasing freedoms that are being slowly and insipidly creeping away and nipping away at our freedoms. 91 in the house so far, as more and more of you join me here this morning. Want to keep it light and airy. We will do this thing of ours every morning. We will do maybe some different formats every morning. I will take your suggestions, what we could do, points we could read. We might even do morning exercises. I don't know about you, but I got my exercise routine in this morning to keep the heart rate going. While we are stuck in such a confined space, now is the time to test not only your mental fortitude, but also to test yourself physically. Be that of you, whatever age you are, from the youth with their massive amounts of energy to you into the autumn of years. We can all sit down, we can all bend the knees, we can get our calisthenics going, and to get the heart rate up and pumping to set us up for the rest of the day. We've all got an opinion, like everybody. We all have ourselves. We all have an opinion. I do excuse my French for being a little bit crass this morning. But while we formulate this thing, while we work through the our morning ablutions and our morning routines, as this new police state, this ever-encroaching coronavirus police state creeps up upon us, we are reminded that we have got a 2-kilometer ring fence. And as was declared yesterday by our Police Commissioner Drew Harris, you will now have to produce evidence of the need for you to travel and why you are traveling. So is the lockdown a practice run for the future events? Maybe. Yes. I direct your attention, if you have not seen it this morning, to Black Pill, Devon Stack's channel on YouTube. It's only a 4 or a 5 minute video drop that Devon has produced, but another very insightful, returning over the years gone by of previous episodes and previous national emergencies and how they were treated and how we've been slowly being acclimatized to these sweeping pandemics and epidemics that every year, every couple of years, every every American election, every year the election is coming on in America, we have these huge global pandemics, from swine flu to bird flu to chicken flu to camel flu. They always seem to come out and it comes in. I have a HSE pass and a letter from the employer. How pathetic. And a big shout out to all our rock stars out there, our frontline warriors, the doctors and nurses setting up, facing the front lines. Also the new rock stars, the new true celebrities that we should laud, from our delivery drivers, from our assistants and workers in shopping centers and local shops left and right, who go in every morning and stack up the shelves to make sure that the supply chain is kept active and coming. Yeah, I did see the finance minister in Germany has committed suicide, and that's an awful situation. But something to note from the other side on social media, that there will be an accounting of these suicides and step downs and all things in all manners. Every year we have a pandemic, EJF, that is correct. Globalization equals slavery. I point you in the direction of, I sent out a tweet this morning, as the medical examiners here in Ireland have cited to those in charge that maybe it might be an idea to control and end the borders. Tweeting out this morning, a few weeks ago, the border control and ending Ireland's migration for all was unthinkable. It was even deemed far right and racist. Now it's just common sense. The tide is turning. We can see the open borders extremists were wrong. Fine Gael, Fianna Fáil, Sinn Féin. Those that scream the loudest, yes, exactly, Salvini. But we have to remember there will be a new members here to the Gran Torino experience that will not be up to aware of why we are keeping an eye on suicides and step downs. A healthcare worker in the UK committed suicide last week, and after being diagnosed with corona. Oh my God, that's absolutely despicable. Terrible. I'm fluent in the ancient languages. And I note that some of our morning Dengians are out caring and planting and sowing the seeds, because it's essential that you as also takeaways are essential because people can't cook. Also the loads of information coming out from our government telling us what to do. If you cannot shop, then you should go to the local takeaway. It's bizarre. We are living in bizarre times. Some of us would say we are living in clown world. Let's jump over to the Twitter feed and go through some of the global machinations. Let me jump over here. Don't forget, if you're not a friend of the great Lionel Nation, get on over to Lionel and his weekly broadcast for some great drops of information and soothing words. And as it is, it's going to be very hard to talk about anything else other than the corona. So now the coronavirus is exploited to fracture, corrode, and what do we got here? And breed mistrust in cultural and societal values, to break down family structure, to ensure full and final distrust, individualism, and social isolation. Psychological trauma will have far-reaching and devastating effects. I concur. Yes, we are going through, as what has been described this morning. We are living in present history very much. Good morning to you, Lampeg. Brian Fury joins us. Patricia O'Connell. Yeah, I feel like I'm in a video game. Most of us feel like we are living in a movie. Like, it almost feels like you have been programmed via the will of Netflix. We have been slowly conditioned to accept this. Many great comments for you, Carl Colahan, Leo, and I'll read it out, Carl. Leo and the arse banded government only care about the GDP. Veg seed is getting scarce from the influx of buying. Yes. Good morning, Lampeg again. Mushroom Man. Yes. Yeah, and also the British reactor 2 reminds us Sweden isn't on lockdown, business as normal. I know the golden one did a drop down yesterday as into Sweden's response, as in its lack of response. Scrolling through, this was another pertinent point here from the Imam of Peace. I encourage you, if you are not following him, get over to the Imam. Important, please look at this. China is celebrating victory over coronavirus and is back to selling bats. China's total cases 81,439, recovered 75,448. That's a significant recovery rate. Two possibilities he outlines to us. One, China is lying, or two, China has a vaccine and isn't sharing it. A lot of eyes and a lot of our attention will be focused and directed at China after this. The mistrust. I'll go through the Twitter feed here this morning because I know David Quinn made point of reference, and again touching with you that the German finance minister in Hesse, of tragic news. Tragic news. Paul Joseph Watson touching in with the UK social distancing poll. 66% want army on the streets to enforce it. 63% want government to enforce 9 p.m. curfew. 59% want people who break the rules to be jailed. And 63% think life will never return to normal. We are being conditioned. We are falling and walking straight down into the abattoir that will remove and finally cut off our inalienable freedoms. We must pay attention. We must hold our governments throughout the world accountable at this time. Trisha Carr asked, why are we not using chloroquine if it works? As I said, and we've said over on Dave Cullen's show there last night, and again, I encourage you to go over there, have a look through it if you've got time today. If you're not one of those that are eligible and frontline staff to go out and walk. MAGA Mad Dad says, good morning, GT from the Patriot Soapbox. Good morning to my Patriots over there. As more and more of the global... When will Silent Green be ready from Mickey? Oh, fantastic. China lied and people died. It's true. I'll scroll on through the Twitter feed because I want to get to David Quinn's comment. Amazing Polly. Also amazing. Polly, if you're listening in, I know you tune in every now and again. We got your back. She's getting a lot of flack, as a lot of us are getting flack as we question what we are being told. A lot of mistrust, because a lot of mistrust has built up over the years because our government institutions have been found wanting time and time again. So it's understandable to understand our mistrust of what our governments are being told. Roosh, the inevitable Roosh on there this morning. Devout Christians, and I make note of this as well. I know Christian churches have been closed and stopped, but I notice other religious buildings are not closed, and people are going to their church of choice or their mosque of choice and are collecting and gathering in numbers. I don't see why one is banned and the other isn't banned. Also leads me to question these things. Why are Christian churches shut down, but other religions are still gathering in numbers and practicing. Salvini Toe says, what do you think the end game of this conditioning is? These are the little drops, as you say, to condition us to get used to these curfews, to get used to these restrictions. We are now in what's known as a 2-kilometer zone from our place of residence. You have to prove evidence. You have to get a note from your doctor, a note from your employee, a note from your priest on your movements. And when you are attending the streets out here under communist Dublin, there are checkpoints everywhere to check the validity of your test, of your movements here today. And as the more and more of our freedoms are being denied and taken away from us. Yeah, we will be careful in what I'm saying on medical things. Check in on the live chat there for more and more different pieces of information. And I note here as well another frontline situation that seems to be going out. 5G is being rolled out and ramped up at an exponential rate. And I also see foreign nationals. I know that there was a video dropped there over the weekend. I don't know if you caught it, over in Clondalkin, where there was a gathering of 20 to 25, possibly 30 Chinese nationals that were parked outside in a commercial premises. And I noticed that the driver was putting the camera on, and as soon as they seen the camera was there, they were turning away. There's something going on, something that we are not being told. Why is 5G, which I remind you is still under a test license, but it seems to be permeating throughout the country and is rolling out unfettered. I do not understand this, and I would like some answers. Devout Christians should be troubled that there has been practically no resistance or outcry at churches of all denominations being shut down for a historically minor pandemic thus far, he says. This is grooming Christians to accept closed churches for any reason of public safety. Very pertinent. Big up there, Martin. Good to see you. Thank you for joining me. I copped a crane in the local shop last week. Couldn't figure out what it was for. Must have been a mast put in. These masts are popping up left, right, and center. I wonder if I can. I did make a drop yesterday, and I will see if I can dig it out and share. It wasn't in there. It was in my WhatsApp group, but I think bear with, and I'll bring this up as quickly as I can. Not there. Where are you, Scooby-Doo? This one here, I'll bring it up to the camera from my phone because it slows the laptop. But this, I think, is important for all to see. Oh, we'll do it this way. Not a very good looking tree. All the bark's falling off. I'll start again. Bear with. My apologies.
The left-hand side of that tree, or the right-hand side. Right, here we go. Right, so we have a tree here. Not a very good looking tree. All the bark's falling off. All on the left-hand side. Look on the left-hand side of that tree. Look on the right-hand side. That's all right. Yeah. Right, well, look at the right-hand side of the tree. Look at the flower. Look at the bushes. Look at the green bushes, yeah. Very nice. Look at the left-hand side. Dead. Do you know why? Because that's right next to it. Look at this. Have you seen anything like that in your life? It's got a light right there. The transmitter on the top. Now, how is that? Explain that. The right-hand side of the tree that's not next to the transmitter, the growing away from it, is okay. I mean, look at this. Look how shocking. Look at it. All the bark falling off. All dead. Totally dead. Far too close to the light. Look at the bark. All on the left-hand side, look. Look how close it is to the light.
Make of that what you will, but the culling of trees right before the rollout would lead suspicion to you. Would make you suspicious. Also, there you can see that the left-hand side of the tree, that is close to the what is put out as a street light, but also includes 5G masts. You'll see street poles. I made mention of, where was it? In somewhere in a Dublin suburb. The name escapes me, of different poles being situated out, and people were saying, "Good morning, Wonko the Sane. Thank you for joining me." People were saying that these were just flower pots, but they have electronics on them. They are part of the 5G system. Throughout different housing estates around the country now, you'll see the black boxes and the lines being reeled out. It's different streetlights, different apparatuses being pushed out. But again, the significance of the culling of trees, the evidence is right there in front of you, if only you will look. Over in Swords, a great number of trees down along the high street were taken out. And they are saying that it's because it interferes with the signal. Absolutely not. 5G goes right through buildings. 5G can be like an X-ray. You can see inside the house when the sound waves are tuned up. But nature provides the answer. Nature shows that it's killing off the tree, even on the left-hand side of that tree. So do your inquiries. Sorry for stuttering. If a national government gets into power, we will desist and stop and question Huawei's equipment of 5G. 5G is coming, but there are other operators. We have other operators here, different networks. Good morning. Thank you for that, James. Very generous of you, sir. Thank you, sir. And we are not being asked, we are not being able, or we are not facilitated in asking the safety of these things. Like I say to you, here in the Republic of Ireland, 5G is being rolled out under the guise of a testing. But more and more, its proliferation is just spreading out throughout the country. And I want this slowed down and stopped. I want questions asked. I want the safety to be played out. And I see a great many of you in the live chat are completely on board and up to date. We were never asked about many great deal things. And the evidence pretty much in the trees, and the evidence from various different engineers that are talking about the high frequency waves that are absolutely emitting human poisoning, that break down the DNA, that poison the body through these sound emitters. This Internet of Things, or this Internet of Value, at what cost is it coming to? Nature is already showing to you. Yes, Lampag, check out Lampbag England, and his quote there, I concur. And I think we should do that immediately. Fiber cables was the right idea. All of this 5G could have been gone underground, should have been underground. Any sort of frequency emitting equipment should be under the ground at the very least. But again, hence why we are all suspicious of our natures. We are all suspicious of the information that we are being fed and told and expected to believe. Back over to the Twitter handle as we leave Roosh. And this character here, David Vance, points us out more and more of this. And I know you're seeing it on social media. Look at this, spitting on the food. Retribution comes swift and quickly. And what else have we got here? Joe M. To think that they've been doing this for decades and it takes a Trump's Justice Department to finally put a stop to it. Now do a Nancy Pelosi and a Dianne Feinstein. And the Department of Justice, and I think we could carry this on over here in the Republic of Ireland. The US Justice Department has officially opened an investigation into insider trading by US senators who sold stocks after classified coronavirus briefings. GOP Senator Richard Burr has hired a lawyer. A lot is going on or in and around the world. This, an American, Caitlin Bennett, I don't know if you're aware of Caitlin Bennett. She is armed and she is dangerous and she does go and she is licensed to carry and ask questions. But did you know that Native Americans will get $3 billion in aid from the coronavirus relief bill? That's $3,000 for every native on a reservation compared to $1,200 you'll get. Isn't it racist to benefit one group of people over another based on their race? Mixed messages. IET 17. If you're following along on Q, IET knocks out some cracking threads on Twitter. What else have we got here? We'll skip that. It's Kimmy with some meme magic. Also, I see Merkel and Harry and Merkel, or Markle, are, as President Trump reminds us here, I'm a great friend and admirer of the Queen and the United Kingdom. It was reported that Harry and Meghan, who left the kingdom, would reside permanently in Canada. Now they have left Canada for the US. However, the US will not pay for their security protection. They must pay. Oh, the God King Emperor strikes again. Caitlin is a true patriot. Absolutely, EFJ. She's out there getting in amongst it. I also follow Modi, but we won't translate that for the meantime. Little bit of humor as a porcupine and a leopard sort out who's in line for the rationing of bread this morning as we all join the queues for food. This also, Talik C, has it come to this? Business is now being told to block off non-essential items they are allowed to sell. Do we realize how dangerous this is to allow the government to dictate what is essential and what isn't? We've seen what they consider healthy. Slippery slope, people, slippery slope. And where are we off to here? Yeah. The man of peace, traitor Buhari, gave a speech and didn't provide any reasoning as to why he freed 1,400 Boko Haram terrorists. He freed them because they repented. Then they butchered 50 innocent soldiers and citizens. They repented. But Nigeria is not an Islamic state. Buhari broke the law. And Stefan Amali, who knocking out and playing games. I don't understand that, Stefan. Leave that for those that are still playing games. Filling up the airwaves. What else have we got here? CNN's Jamie Dimon attacks OAN reporter Jean Pellegrino by calling her a propagandist from a fringe outlet. And as we note, CNN's ratings are tanking. And they've lost the contract to be streamed out in airports around the world. If anything was a propaganda shit rag, and I direct your attention to today's thumbnail as well. We'll get through this as well. Oh yes, we see that Joe Biden in the United States is now being accused of sexual assault or accused of sexual misdemeanors, and they are very real, credible allegations being made against Creepy Joe, who is indeed senile and losing his mind. This could actually scupper his presidential race, and will he be impeached for it? Remember, believe the woman in all instances. He was one of the first shouting that out. And if you read the allegations against him, they are quite nasty as well in what he actually was alleged to have done. Keith Mills also touching on yesterday's interview with myself and Dave. So Sinn Féin Ireland has become the official masturbation party. Fintan Warfield, again, social distancing applies to hookups and sex. I'm not even going to read that nonsense out. That man or that young fella talking to us about, I mean, it's all about my genitals and my sexual feelings. None of that means nothing in a national crisis. Laura Ingham says, 13 days ago, we were the first to bring you the hydroxychloroquine success story from docs treating COVID patients. Now tonight, FDA issues emergency authorization of anti-malaria drug for coronavirus care. Where is our response? Where is our response? Even testing it. We've got a solution, an alleged solution that so far throughout patients that it's been administered has 100% efficacy. Why now are we not rolling it out? Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? If you're paying attention to Q, you will understand what that means. We'll skip past that. Here we go. Fiona Marie Flanagan, huge Twitter handle. If you're not over there following Fiona, she is at Fiona Flanagan 1. And Fiona reminds us that the totalitarian noose of control is tightening at an alarming rate. Already under an effective house arrest, we now have to produce or need to produce evidence if we succeed our 2-kilometer limit, either by car, bike, or foot, it seems. Just what is the medical scientific justification for this insanity? Precisely. There is these restrictions and more of our freedoms are being taken away while the sheep will sit and watch idly by. And who else have we got here? Jay Beecher reminds us China lied. China failed to warn others. China spreading fake news to shift the blame. China's exploitation the situation for economic gain. China's responsibility for every coronavirus-related death and our government. China's not our friend. China is our enemy. When this is over, we must China. Again, more hearsay stories. This is the kind of crap they want us to believe. Truth as a newsflash. Some people are falling for it, in case you hadn't noticed. You can let you read that one there from Paul. It seems only the famous are coming down with the coronavirus flu straight off the bat. Pray for Rush Limbaugh. Yeah, the inevitable Rush Limbaugh. We leave that meme there for you to read while I sup up another vitamin C injection. Oh, I get it into you, Cynthia. And that's a happy birthday. And a happy birthday to this little happy 5-year-old from Crystal James. Happy birthday. And at least diversity. Diversity seems to be taking a back seat, but we should pay a particular attention to that. What have we got here? The last true Gale. So in today's episode of Clown World, Ireland has done the very impossible. We have a growth rate that has declined faster than every other European country, 8%, yet we now have ICUs doubling every 2 to 3 days and deaths increasing by 29% in one day. Yeah, I believe this is from David Quinn. To be clear, this is not a donation. We paid 28 million for this batch alone and more batches. But are our government going to test this equipment? Because more and more nations that are receiving these supplies from China, they are faulty and they are not doing what they're designed to do. Again, more failings. Av Éire thanking Mr. Yuan Hong, GM of Resources Group, as vital protection equipment are crated up for our friends in Aer Lingus. Direct flights going into the epicenter of the pandemic, and people are going to become in contact with people over there. Pamela Geller lets it loose and lets it be known what she thinks of it all. This plane load of equipment has been purchased for 28 million. I wonder what the unit cost was compared with normal times. It's like your sales, 20% off. 20% off what? What was the previous price? You know, the shop tactic. Everything is faulty. The tests, Africa, 80% are useless. Not much news coming out of the pandemic spreading through Africa, it would seem. Excuse me. I'll let you read Polly's post there as well. And Old Thorburn, I believe this was. I could play this for you. Here in the... I won't. We'll go through that. I'll let you go through that yourself. Kathy Griffin was having a meltdown. She that is screaming loudest and longest, saying that she blamed Trump over her coronavirus pains, when it just turned out that she had a bad case of diarrhea. Again, Joe M. With Q, you learn about the nature of Intel itself. For years, there were self-proclaimed truthers bringing disclosure to curious followers, often for a price. Now we know they never had the clearance for anything truly privileged, just embellishment of what was already known. You can touch in with Q on q.pub. Or you can even just type Q into Google these days and it'll bring you straight. It'll bring you straight to it. Let me see, right at the very top there. A little bit of drag. We'll leave that there this morning. So we won't go on too long this morning. As I say, let's touch back in with you, live chat, as we leave the Twitter handle and the Twitter feed alone. It seems when I bring it up on the screen, it lags. It lags and it lags. Never mind. Let's touch in with you before we round off, and we'll keep it short and snappy. Good vid. The WHO gave out tests in the US Scott Turnbull says that the WHO, the World Health Organization, gave out test kits in the US at the start that were giving 70% false positives. Something is not right, man. Something is not right. Michael Murphy's lets us know that he did not get a notification. And as you say that, I am reminded here that I am actually live 35 minutes into the show, and we get the notification as well. Come on, YouTube. Step it up, step it up. Yeah, Cara West says, I don't believe for 1 minute China has this virus under control and our meds come from China and India. Yes, India, there was, I won't go back into that. Q dropped 3 times yesterday. I never did that before. I didn't get it either, GT. Bobby McWilliams. Okay, just as we round off here on today's show, and would you please, if you would, leave your comments and suggestions in the comment box below of what you would like to go through in the early hours of the morning. We will do this broadcast. I will try and keep it regular for 9 o'clock. Should anything change or come in difference on my end, I will let you know the night before. So we will start daily broadcast at 9 o'clock in the morning and then round off again in the evening and touch in again at 8 o'clock in the evening. GMT, Greenwich Mean Time. Victoria O'Shea says, top of the morning to you from San Diego, California. I've been there. What a beautiful state. Went down to the Mexican border. Didn't cross it over, but what a fantastic site. What a fantastic place San Diego is, as the United States is, and many great nations around the world. Carl also reminds us that he didn't get the notification. Maybe they're doing the DNA testing. Okay, live chat, please, if you could, don't forget, leave your comments in the section below. Please leave your suggestions of what you'd like to see. We might even do early morning exercises, just a little light routine. I am a qualified gym instructor, and I can produce the documentation should the evidence be required. We could do some early morning workouts just to get the blood flow going and keep it nice and supple so that all ages may participate, young and old. We'll just keep it low calisthenics, just to get the heart rate going, get the blood rate going, and just to keep our minds healthy. Please keep yourself warm and safe today. If you're of an age, keep yourself indoors. If you can manage to get outside and get a bit of fresh air in a controlled place, please do. I encourage you, get some fresh air, get some exercise. Keep yourself in tip-top shape. Tip-top shape. Those of you in the queue know what tippy-top is. And as we round off, please, let's have your age and your current situation and location where you are. And thank you all so much for your very kind words this morning. We will do this. This thing of ours, regular 9 o'clock every morning and 8 o'clock in the evening while we are under curfew till this situation changes. And we will bring you information and news as it drops to me here this morning, and I will relay it on to you. While we finish our vitamin C, don't forget your daily morning coffee. Live chat, let it roll. Let's do this. Jason of the Great Awakening is 46 in Australia. G'day, mate. Mega Dad, my dad is 52 in Nebraska. Martin, the Confusator, is in Belfast. Danny's in London, Holloway, 54. Good morning, Danny. Fiona Mack is 58 in Donegal. Martin Ellen is 43 in North Staffordshire. And Menton, 42, the kitchen as usual. Siobhan Murphy, cool luck, just 21. And thank you to you. We have more peace held in Margoth land. Bobby EFJ2 is 52 in Longford. And Disgraceful Gorgeous. Tabby Callaghan is 38 in Sligo, by Sligo. Liam Flanagan is West Cork. West Cork, by. How you doing, West Cork? All right, Dor. Tippy Top in R10 and Ages from J Doyle. Danny is in Holloway. Victoria O'Shea. I'm 55 years old and a Q follower. Don't you know? Sassy Frost is FEMA Region 5 in the USA. Maggie Ray, 73 in Germantown, Tennessee, USA. Love makes the world go round. Free Gentidi is in Barcelona, 33. James Fury is 40 in Tasmania. Lampbag, England, 72 from Lampbag, England. Rob C is 61 in Bantry. As it skips. We've got Jay Noble, County Down, 52. Solo Head Beg is County Tip. Scott Turnbull, 52 from Limerick, Scotland. Nicky Wright Petro is 48. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. In Cyprus, thank you for joining us. Patricia O'Neill at a fine age in Monaghan. Great show. Thank you, Patricia. Keep on rocking. Dunfermline from Stephen Douglas. We have Noreen Lonigan, 50, Tipperary. Stacey, 42 in Australia. Many of the Aussies joining us in. Nice to see you, Stacey. Rachel Sharp, Limerick, 48. Off to Doolin for the spin. Beautiful place. Let It Snow. Cascades Mountains, Washington State, and Ancient. No, you're not. Young and Hart. Dallas Motorcade is 44, Kinsale. Maggie Ray, 73, Memphis, Tennessee, ma'am. Andrew Wright is 56 from Boston in the USA. White Marsh, Drogheda all the way. Gordon Ryan is 45 in Bray. Wuss. Victoria O'Shea, my hubby is John O'Shea from beautiful County Waterford. Good morning, John. Get yourself an account and get on here. Michael Murphy is 48 in Denmark. Thanks for what you're doing, and thank you for what you're doing. And thank you for joining us here. Ann Dempsey is 45. Whitey Marsh is 43. Jason H is 29 in the Blanchardstown, the epicenter of diversity. Mushroom Man is 38, living on the moon. John Jefferson, F the New World Order, we will beat them. Tony Pates is still 48 and he's in Grumpy Towers in the UK. Thanks for these lives, GT. We'll be needing these fast-moving times. Absolutely. Jonathan Mitchell is in Oregon. Sean Morrissey, Free Cardinal Pell. I agree. I concur. Who is paying for 5G, says John Jefferson. Pat Scanlon is 34 in Wexford. Inbound Thunder is 46 in Connacht. And as we rail off, Tommy Murphy, Fermoy, 47. David Mooney, 51 in Madrid, Spain. Stay safe out there. I know Spain is getting particularly hard over there. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me up, and I will see you later on this evening at 8 o'clock. Do please join. Do please leave your suggestions, thoughts, comments, and witticisms in the comment below. Don't forget to press the like button. And if you're new to the show, don't forget to press the subscription. And please, if you would, if you could, brighten my notice bar. Consider becoming a member today at the Gran Torino Experience by pressing the join button just below your button here. And I'll see you later on this evening at 8 o'clock. And what we do, and as we always do when we sign off, wuss.